Hi all, welcome to this session. Hopefully you'll find this lecture interesting because it's all about saving on your AWS account bill, and we are going to do this with simple automation, and it will hardly take you 2 minutes to implement this. So why we are doing this, the purpose of this implementation is that we want to get a daily report over an email to track the AWS bill. Now you might know you already have a lot of mechanism in AWS to go to AWS Cost Explorer and check your bills, but often I have seen when you're new to the AWS account, you often forget to turn off your EC2 instances, or maybe if it's a new project in your team, some developers might spin up the instances in the region where you typically don't work, and that instance keeps running and keeps adding additional bill to your AWS account. So idea here is to get a report which will tell me which all EC2 instances are running into my AWS account into which all AWS region. That's a primary goal. Second, often we don't realize, but there is a cost. Suppose there is an EBS disk which is not attached to any EC2 instance. That means it's unused, and you still pay for that cost even though you are not using it. So that's a cost leakage in AWS which happens, which I have seen happening all the time. Another one of the cost leakage happens due to elastic IPs. Now for elastic IP, if you do not attach it to the running EC2 instance, for an example, it is billed, so the charges are reversed. You mean if you are using it, you are not billed, but otherwise you will be billed for that. And often when I used to take trainings, people used to have the elastic IPs not associated, and at the end of the month they'll get a bill with not much, but at least there is some cost added to your bill. So idea is to identify those kind of cost leakage and get a report out of it which will land into your inbox daily, so that you can be sure, like go and delete those instances or probably release those elastic IP. So that's the primary reason we are doing this. And the second is we want to build a serverless application for this. Now it's not an app, but it's more on automation, I would say, where you would understand how AWS Lambda and CloudWatch events can work together to build this kind of automation. So ultimately, how this works, we will be creating one CloudFormation stack. Now those who do not know what is CloudFormation, it's infrastructure as a code, where you can write a YAML or a JSON template and feed into CloudFormation, and it will create all the AWS resources for you. So I have already written this template for you. You have to just go and create the stack. So what this CloudFormation stack will do, it will create one CloudWatch event. Now this event will be triggered at a daily at given time, that time that you will configure. So this is more like a cron job, right? Now this CloudWatch event will ultimately trigger a Lambda function, which is a serverless compute service of AWS. Now we have written a code in a Lambda. What it does essentially is fires a lot of API calls to AWS to get the inventory of your EC2 instances across regions, inventory of EBS disk and elastic IP, and it will consolidate all this data into an HTML report. Once that it builds the report, it will send that report to you using Amazon Simple Email Service SES, and ultimately this email will land into your inbox. That means daily you will get the report for this. Now the best part about this implementation is it takes just 2 minutes to create this CloudFormation stack and you are done, right? Second, it's a zero cost. All these components will cost you zero because this falls well within the free tier that is given by AWS to you. Even after 12 months, this falls into the free usage. Third, the code for the Lambda, which is the heart of this, is open source. That means I have written this and you can use it and modify as you require, right? So that's essentially we are going to do. Output should look something like this. You should get an email with the HTML report which shows you what all instances are running where in which region. So it's not obvious like this particular instance is not being used, but if you feel like there is an EC2 instance running in say Mumbai region and you typically are not working in that region, go and stop that. So you'll start saving maybe $18 per month. Similarly, these are the EBS volumes, and also you can get a report for elastic IPs. And as I said, you can always modify this code and add more AWS services like finding out NAT instances or VPC endpoints. So there are a lot of instances like RDS databases, and you can save more on top of this. Okay, enough of the talk. Now let's look at the demo. So you want to create this yourself, then you can just click the link in the video, which will take you to your CloudFormation stack console in AWS account. Or if you're already familiar with AWS CloudFormation, you can just use this template which I have written and shared with you already. So let me do that. Take this template. I'm into my AWS account and I'm into the CloudFormation console. If you don't know how to do that, just type CloudFormation and you will be there. You can choose any region for this implementation, does not matter, because Lambda will get the inventory for all the regions. So I'm selecting North Virginia, and when it asks for me the template, I'm providing my template file. Next, I'll give some name, maybe my usage report. Now you will get an email. You have to give from whom you are going to receive the email. So I'm giving my email ID AWS Training Center at gmail.com. Schedule is 19, which is actually UTC time, 7 p.m. You can configure it based on your time zone, and rest you can keep default, and to email as well I'm keeping the same. Now one thing to note here is that we need to, first time when you run this stack and when you will get an email, you have to confirm that you are okay to receive email from AWS SES service. So there is first time you have to do that, but later on once you confirm that, you will start receiving email every day. So next, rest of the thing you can keep default, and you can just go and click this acknowledge and create the stack. So as I said, it will take hardly 2 minutes for this stack to be created, and I'm just pausing this video for 2 minutes. Okay, you can see my CloudFormation has been created successfully, and you can see it created the event, which is CloudWatch event, and then it created a Lambda function where the code is running, and IAM role, so that Lambda function can fire the AWS APIs to get the inventory of EC2 and the other services. So essentially that's it. And now for testing purpose, I have one EC2 instance running in my AWS account, that's too in the Mumbai region. So what we want to do is ultimately test this automation. So by default it will be triggered at 7 p.m. but I want to test it right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Lambda where my function is already created, and we will manually trigger this Lambda function. So I'm in Mumbai. Make sure you change your region to North Virginia if you created your AWS stack there, and you will see a Lambda function with similar name which start with your stack name. Just go there and you will see the body of the Lambda function where the code is, and you can always, as I said, go and modify this code and add more services. For testing purpose, I'm just clicking the test, which requires one test event. We are not going to use this event, but it needs that because we are manually running the Lambda, and you just go and test. So right now what Lambda is doing, it's firing a lot of API calls in the backend which collects the EC2 inventory from all AWS regions which are available today. Along with that, it's collecting inventory about your EBS volumes and elastic IPs, and ultimately it will consolidate that into an HTML report and will send it over the SES. So once the Lambda function is successful, we should get an email into the inbox. So let's wait. It takes around, I think, 30 seconds or so for this function to run. As you add more services, probably it will take a longer time, so you need to adjust your Lambda execution time as well at that moment. You can see all those settings are here. Currently the timeout is 15 minutes, which is maximum I have set, but hardly it takes less than a minute for this Lambda to run. Okay, so my execution has been succeeded. That means I should be getting the email shortly. So I'm into my inbox, and you can see the email got with my own name because sender was the same as my receiver. And you can see I got an report which says, like, I have one EC2 instance running in AP South 1. There is no unattached DBS volumes, but there is one elastic IP also unattached. That means we are paying $3.66 per month for this. So this is very useful. In my initial days I have found this very useful. Accidentally, a lot of time I keep the instance running, but then I see this email and check my cost and running instances, and immediately I go and stop those instances. So till date, I'm sure I might have saved more than $500 in last few years. And this is very useful if in your company you are working on project and there are multiple developers. So this will be a huge beneficial for your team as well. So go and play around with this. This is very super easy. If you face any issues, please comment on the video and I should be able to help you there. So again, thanks for watching, and try it out and let me know your feedback. Thanks again.